Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Gary, Southern Boys Vapes here. What we're going to go over today is the new Smok XPro M80. And I'm going to touch briefly on this Gimlet Gimlet Cloud tank. It's really not too much to brag home about. It's an alright tank. The only reason I got it because it actually came with the device, ordered it as a package. But it vapes pretty damn good. It's got nickel coil in it, 100% cotton. I've got this thing set on 630 degrees Fahrenheit at about 63 watts. Does it really get 630 degrees Fahrenheit? No, I don't think so. But who knows? It's pretty good, but I do have to close the airflow off a little bit because the flavor is kind of lacking when you open the airflow all the way up on this tank. Even turned up as high as I got it turned up. That's the only reason I got it turned up this high, so I can get some decent flavor out of it. But to talk about this device here first, I love this thing, man. Fits in your hand nice. 80-watt device, smallest 80-watt device that I'm aware of. By far the cheapest, least expensive 80-watt device on the market. Just for that point, I say buy it if you're looking for a good regulated device with some decent power. This thing is great. It goes all the way down to 0.1 ohm resistance all the way up to 3.0 ohm resistance. And of course, 80 watts. It has 3 different modes on it. It's got temperature control mode, variable wattage mode, and mechanical mode. All 3 modes work like a charm. The version 006, which this one is, you don't have the issue with the ramp up time that you did the previous version, or not the previous version, but the version 004 when they first came out with this. But Smok did post on their website an upgrade to go from to upgrade 2.5 or to 005. And the 005 is about the same thing as this. I've only noticed like minor differences, like on the 005. If you push the reset button, it does have a reset button on it. It doesn't really completely shut off the device, it just kind of resets it. This one, you push the reset device, it completely shuts down the device. You power it back up. When it powers back on, it will display the version software and stuff on you. It's for upgrading purposes. Like you reset and power combo. You have to check the website if you ever needed to upgrade it. It's on there. Or you check out Vapor Chronicles channel. He did a very good review on how to upgrade or update the firmware on these things. But let's just get back to talking about this thing and vaping on it. I just can't get over how badass I think this thing is for the price point. You can get them for 50 bucks, 50, 60 bucks, definitely under $60 around anywhere. Is there another 80-watt device out there? I mean, just talking about variable wattage devices, is there another 80-watt device out there for under $60? No, not that I'm aware of. At least not a quality one. So you can go to somewhere like Fast Tech, something like that, and get something like that, yeah, for under that price. But this thing, not only do you get the variable wattage, you get the variable wattage, the temperature control, and the mechanical mode. You've seen me vape on this a couple times, the temperature control. Works good. Here, let's throw this Atlantis V2 on here. I'm going to change the variable wattage mode. Variable wattage mode. This thing has got the 0.30 coil in it. I got it setting at 63 watts. Works great. I'm going to put a RDA on here. This is an Eric, or an, I'm not too sure how you say it. What I've got sitting on the top of it is a, I found this custom made, it's called, the guy's calling him a smashed chuff. I love that badass little thing. But I'm going to turn it up to say 70 watts here on the variable wattage side of it. There we are. Give it a second to focus. 70 watts. Works like a charm. Let's change it to mechanical mode. Mechanical mode is just like it says. It's a mechanical device with its built-in regulation, safety type stuff, which is great. It's a safety-oriented mechanical box at this mode. But what it'll do, it'll send out as much power as it possibly can send within its power rating based on this resistance of this coil. So in short, do I recommend this friggin' device? Hell yeah I do. Hell yeah I do. I like it a lot. Of course, the biggest thing I like about it is the price point. You can't beat it, man. It's got a I think it's a 4400 mAh battery in it. You can't take the batteries out. They're built in. It's got a USB charging port. It comes with a USB cord. It comes with an Ego style adapter on it where you can run those type of tanks on it if you want to. If you're a beginner, let's put this back on variable wattage or temperature mode. I've got this nickel coil on it. Turn it back down to 60 watts because I had it set at 70 for the other device. But we're gonna step away here in just a couple of minutes, and I'm gonna set this camera up so we can get a closer look at this thing and run through the menus with you. Show you what I've been doing kind of off camera to change the settings. And talk briefly on the temperature control method and how they use it. A lot of other reviewers out there kind of fuss about how this temperature control works. My thing is on it, temperature control is a new technology, fellas and ladies out there, pardon my expression. Is there a surefire or just a general rule of thumb for temperature control? No. So far, all the chip makers out there, the three of them that are the three quality ones that are doing temperature control, all of them have their own basic algorithms on how they determine the temperature and how it controls the temperature control or temperature protection mode. It's all pretty much based on the resistance and the amount of power that it takes to cause something at that particular resistance to reach a particular temperature. How this device works, based on your power, like right now I've got it set at 60 watts, 630 degrees Fahrenheit. If I fire it, you'll watch it kind of be low, jump up. Once it's at 630 degrees Fahrenheit, it'll stay at 630 degrees Fahrenheit, but the wattage will gradually ease down. If I had my voltmeter on there, you would see that not only does the wattage kind of taper down, it also goes into a pulse modulation mode to where the power, fluctuates to keep that coil from overheating. To me, hey, that works fine, man. It works great. Have I gotten a burnt hit out of this damn thing? No, not once. I even drained this tank down to where there was no juice in it. None. I could see none in there. I was vaping away, vaping away, vaping away. Not a single dry hit. The only thing I did, I lost flavor. Why did I lose flavor? Because there wasn't any more damn juice in the coil. Alright guys, what we got here, little up close look. Set that off to the side of this X Pro M80 Plus. See, there's that adjustable 510 pin. It is indeed spring loaded. You can see how much of a fingerprint magnet that thing is. There's a vented battery area. The charging plug, USB charge plug. Like I said, the batteries are permanent in here. They do not come out. It is I'm sorry if I didn't look it back up again. I believe it's a 4400 mAh battery. Amazing battery life on it. Another good thing about it. But maybe I can get my camera to work with me here. That's just sitting there in ready standby mode. You know, you got your up or your up and down buttons over here, power button over here. When it comes on right there, you see I've got it set in temperature mode. I'm going to try and go through this menu. It goes pretty friggin' fast, but you click 3 times to get into it. You change through the things here. And just by clicking the power button, all the different options you have. 1, that's where you change the mode, temp, mechanical, wattage. 1, 2, 3. Change it over. That's your puff counter. I haven't used that yet. It'll tell you your amount of puffs that you have. You can also set a limit to where it is. Say if you wanted 600-700 puffs in a day, that's kind of low if you ask me. You can set that and the device will shut off. 1, 2, 3 to get back through it again. Let's go to the next one. That's where you set your date and time. See, you move that and it moves over. You use your up and down arrows to change it. 1, 2, 3. And that's where you set your temperature control. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. I usually set mine at 630. That's just where I like it, and I can adjust based on your vape. I suggest, I mean, you can try however you want to try it, but I suggest setting it at about 550, 600 degrees, and then starting out at like 25, 30 watts, whatever nickel device you put on there, and adjust that until you get to where you like it. Let's get back in there. 1, 2, 3. The last thing to adjust is how you turn this thing off. Power on, power off, power on, power off. Goodbye. Turn it back on. 5 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you put it in your pocket, you don't want to take the chance of hitting any buttons. Click it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's in lock mode. When it's in lock mode, you push that button. It displays the date and time. Yep, as you can see, it's pretty fucking late. Way past my bedtime. Take it out of lock mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put this giblet tank on there. Whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. Okay, now see if you can see what I was telling you about. I don't know how well you can read it. It says 630 degrees. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Let me make sure. 7 wattage mode. I didn't think it looked right. There we go. 630 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's turn this bad boy down. Let's go down to 30 watts and you'll see what I'm talking about. But say we got this thing set at 630 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's take it down to 30 watts here. Alright, hopefully we can see this. When I fire it, you're going to notice the temperature will turn into nothing. I haven't pushed it yet. The temperature turn into nothing. And it'll go to like 200 or 300 degrees. See the wattage drop down? See the wattage hit 29.9. And it's only hitting like 400 degrees. And you saw how the wattage was going back down. So let's take it up to 40 watts. But we'll just stop there for sake. 630 degrees, 43.3 watts. It will not reach 600 degrees. It's like 520 something. It's staying at 520, but the wattage is going down until you get to a 12-second hit. That's why I say if you set it at a higher temperature and just adjust your wattage accordingly until you get to where you think the vape is where you want it. See, that time we got to 592 degrees. And see how the wattage is dropping down. Let's take it up to 65, 70 watts. That works for me. See right there, it says 630 degrees Fahrenheit, 72 watts. hit the button. 0, 4, 717, 625, 629. It's staying right there at 626 as the wattage is steadily dropping down. I'm gonna pull over here, take a vape real quick. But no dry hits. And here's kind of a close-up of this little giblet tank here. You gotta not pay attention to my gnarled up fingers. I work pretty hard and I chew on my damn fingers. But that airflow there, that's about where I like it, where I get the best flavor. That's wide open. Wide open, I don't hardly get any flavor. It gets good vapor production, but hardly any flavor. And there's the smallest setting. There appears to be 4 different air hole settings. I don't know the actual metric sizes of it. I don't guess. To me, it doesn't really matter. It's all I want to know is when I do it, am I going to get enough airflow of what I like? Anyway, that's the quick up and close and how you go through the menus. But let me show you that again. 1, 2, 3. That gets to how you change your modes: temp mode, mech mode, wattage mode. 1, 2, 3. You see how it goes through pretty fast. You watch. 1, 2, 3. If I don't touch nothing, boom, it's quick. But that's kind of a pain in the butt. But after you do it 15, 20 times, it's no problem. You fly right through it. 1, 2, 3. It's not an inconvenience at all. Back to tip mode. Alright, let's get back out and do a little final convo on it and do some vaping on it and say our goodbyes. Alright, welcome back up here, ladies and gents. We're going to have some final thoughts on this thing and tell you a little bit more about the GCT thing. Actually, I can tell you much more about it. I can't really talk about something I don't really care for. Like I said, the only reason I'm using it because it came with a package deal with the smoke tank. I got the smoke tank and everything it came with. You know, the ego adapter, the USB cord, and then of course it came with this GCT tank as well, and a couple spare coils, nickel coils, which is great. It allowed me to use the temperature control feature of this device, and heck, you can use the temperature control on the Kanthal as well. But I mean, it'll run it, but does it really work? No, because it can't. It can't. The resistance on that, even though, like say this is a 0.3 resistance, and that's a point that on my RDA that I did a minute ago with the Eric is a 0.28. It has a resistance on it, but the wire makeup is completely different. Completely different. But in short, the Smok M80, if you're looking for something inexpensive and with plenty of power for new vapors or experienced vapors, you know, like myself, hell yeah, get one. It's worth every damn penny, and it's not a whole lot of pennies to get one, man. For under $60, and a lot of cases under $50, you can get one. You get an 80-watt device that's switchable to temperature control mode and mechanical mode, and hell, it's even got a date and time on it. All of those features in one little package for under 60 bucks. It's a great device, man. Great device. Fits good in your hand. My wife loves it. This one's actually for my wife. She's at work. I made her leave it with me so I could try and get a video done so I can tell you guys what I think about this thing. Hopefully what I've shared with you will give a little bit different light on the subject. I'm not super technically endowed like some of the other guys are that are kind of harping on the temperature control of this thing. My outlook on it is, first and foremost, temperature control is a brand new technology. Is it perfect yet? By no means is it perfect yet. Are some of the other chip makers pretty good at it? Sure they are. Do I think Smok is good at it with their latest version, 666? I think they're just fine at it. They just use a completely different method or completely different algorithm to do the temperature control, or should I say a better terminology for the Smok one is a temperature protection. Because if you set it at a certain temperature and you got your power set up to high enough to where it can reach that temperature, when your power gets up to it and you reach that temperature, you stay at that temperature and your power goes down. Staying at what the Smok device determines whatever temperature it is at. Is the temperature accurate? Probably not. I don't think this thing is anywhere close to 650 degrees. Because the vape's not nearly as warm as, say, that Aspire Atlantis I was vaping on a minute ago, or the RDA I was vaping on a minute ago. And they're probably about 500, maybe 550, maybe close to 600 degrees on that Canthal. But overall, I like this thing, man. The battery life on it is insane. My wife has been, and I have been vaping on this thing all day long, and like how you saw in that close-up, the battery has barely dropped down. The other day I vaped on this thing for 2 days trying to get this battery to die. I didn't get the battery to die. For 2 whole days I was vaping on it, and I still had 20% battery life. That's pretty damn low. So I plugged it back up and charged it. And it can charge off your computer, it can charge off your cell phone device, it can charge. I don't really recommend those little bitty things that you can get, the little USB chargers that all of us had when we first started, with little Ego sticks or whatnot, because they're only like maybe 500 milliamps. You can charge this thing. It even says right here on the bottom, it recommends 1 amp or even up to 2 amp charging. Charge it off a PC, charge it off your cell phone charger. It'll charge it pretty quickly. So, all in all, do I recommend this device? As I've said before, well, let me screw this thing back on here, this Atlantis V2. I highly recommend it. Even if you're not getting it for the temperature control or the other things, just for the 80 watt capabilities of it, for the price that you can get it at, man, how can you go wrong? But for the temperature control part of it, I don't. Some of you may be super techie. Some of you may not. Some of you may be a little bit more down to earth like myself. Like I said before, I'm just a redneck who likes to vape. On the temperature control mode, when I have this thing in temperature control mode and I have a tank on it, is all I care about. Is if in temperature control mode, does it enable me to have a consistent vape and not get any dry hits? Yes, it does that. I've never gotten a dry hit off that GCT tank, and every vape has been the same once I found how I like to have my settings at. So do I think the temperature control mode works on this thing, or let's say temperature protection mode work on it? I most certainly think it does. It works just fine in my book. It does what I expect it to do. No burnt hits, consistent vape. And how it does that, I really don't care. I don't care how they program. I'm not a programmer. I don't design these chips. It's all I want is when I buy something, I want it to work. I want it to do or perform how they say it's going to perform, and the result that they say it's going to give me. If I get them, sweet. Do I have any negatives on this thing? Not really. The only negative I got is it's a fingerprint magnet. Whoop-de shit. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you for stopping in. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to comment. I'm going to probably announce a giveaway here shortly. Maybe when I get to a few more viewers, where I think 100 is reachable, maybe give something nice away at 100 subscribers. I'll think about it and decide what it is. Anyway, Gary, Southern Boys Vapes, Rednecks Vape 2.